Hello and welcome to the first ever Done a Book Review with Trish and Agnes. We're going to be reviewing a wonderful murder mystery that we recently finished called Broadland by David Blake. That's Broadland by David Blake. And it's a wonderful, cozy, it's a wonderful murder mystery that takes place in a town called Wroxham, or a village called Wroxham, on the Norfolk Broads. And Wroxham is a quiet little town, except for when it's holiday season. Oh yes, when it's holiday season, it is full of people taking boats out and having a little bit too much to drink and acting crazy. That, not like Crazy Vegas or something. No, nothing like that. I guess you could say it's kind of a quiet little town. But anyway, so a poor lady's body is found all mutilated in a boat propeller. Exactly. And they're not too used to murders there, so the detective chief inspector, he's the head boss at the police department, he's not inclined to jump to the conclusion that this is a murder. In fact, they're kind of hoping it's an unfortunate accident. Oh yes, and he's working with his detective inspector, who they's had, that this feller, he don't have too much experience, but he's a local boy, and they're both local, and they're not too happy then they go to find out that they're going to get a new detective inspector from London. Yes, a detective inspector, John Tanner, is coming in from London. He has a whole bunch more experience, but the chief inspector and the current detective inspector, well, they're not too happy about that, and they want to keep their detective D.I. John Tanner, they want to keep them at arm's length. Exactly. Well, this body is found on the exact day that Detective Inspector John Tanner starts. Oh, yes, and immediately he suspects something is up with that. But at the same time, because they think the detective chief inspector thinks that it's not a murder, he assigns him to a simple little missing persons case, and he immediately knows this is not a normal missing persons. But we're not going to spoil this. Oh no, we're not going to spoil this at all. Basically, now this detective inspector John Tanner is paired up with this lovely constable Jenny Evans, yes, and Detective Inspector John Tanner, well, he likes hanging out with Jenny because she's young and pretty. That's not the main part of the story, Agnes. No, it's not. Basically, John Tanner has to go in there and oh, wait, you forgot the other part. Oh, that's right. The head detective inspector, he is convinced that this is an accident. And Detective Inspector Tanner, he's not too sure. But then another woman's body is found. Oh, yes, and she has been strangled and, I don't want to use the R word. She has been R'd, if you know what I mean. And they immediately know there's a serious problem going on, Trish. Yes, they do. But at the same time, the detective chief inspector and the current detective inspector, they're still keeping our John Tanner, who we're really following, at arm's length. And the story just goes on, and we get to see what happens and how John Tanner and Jenny Evans work together to solve the crime. It's absolutely a wonderful story. The main characters that we're following is, of course, our Detective Inspector John Tanner and the lovely, young, and pretty Jenny Evans, who's a constable. Constable. It's really great. I think the one thing that I really liked about this book, Agnes, is because it's written in such a way that it's a very easy read. Very easy to read, but it's not dumbed down. It's an easy read, and there were lots of chapters. Oh, short chapters. I happen to love short chapters because what you can do is, TV is just not very good nowadays, Trish. No, it's not. So you can be doing stuff in your office or around the house and just sit down and knock a chapter out, and you can't wait to get back to it. But at the same time, it's easy to put it down because you can quickly get from one chapter to the next. Exactly. I have absolutely no criticisms for the book. Oh, except for the one funny thing we talked about, Trish. That is true. This is not a criticism. But you can tell that this book is written by a man. because, oh yes, because it's written in such a way that basically the way Jenny Taylor acts is, I think, the way you would think any middle-aged man would want a young, pretty girl that he's working with to act. There's nothing lewd, and it's not that. It's just kind of cute, and it makes you chuckle inside. It's nothing derogatory or sexist or anything like that. No, it's just an observation that I think's funny. It's clearly written by a man. And, I kind of normally think that little murder mysteries are going to be written by women. Well, this isn't kind of like an old lady murder mystery like an Agatha Christie with Miss Marple. This is an actual detective murder mystery, and lots of those are written by men. But it's not one of those horrible, gritty ones that have graphic things and sex stuff that you think, oh, why am I reading this? Can't you just let me use my mind? Exactly. It's a really nice book to read. Very pleasant to read. I loved it. I love the writing style. And when it comes to, it's not boring either. You might think, oh, well, this is the kind of book that it's not going to have a whole bunch of action. It has just the right amount of action. The ending is super, super suspenseful. And when you get to a certain point, well, we knocked it out in what? 2 days at the most? Yeah, we did. We knocked it out in 2 days because, like I said, it's an easy read. It's lots of fun. It's what I call started on a Saturday afternoon, and if it's raining and there's not much to do on a Sunday, you can finish it after church and enjoy your Sunday dinner. Exactly. It was really great. It was a wonderful book to read, and we were left so excited about reading it. We immediately went in the city a few days later, and we got the next. This is actually the very first book in an entire series of books called the John Tanner series, or Detective Inspector John Tanner series. Again, it's written by quit covering it up. It's Broadland. It's written by David Blake. Let's see. So we loved the ending. I think we loved everything about the book. Oh, so there is a main story that's going on, and of course that's the murder. Oh yes, and you know what makes you want to come back to it, Trish? Behind all of this, there's like another story going on. You fall in love with the main character, John Taylor, and you fall in love with the second main character, Jenny Evans. And the point is, they are so good at how they work together, and they're so good at solving mysteries, you can't wait to pick up the next book and see what they're going to do next. Exactly. So the mystery is solved, but the cliffhanger is you really want to see what's going to happen next and what other mystery they're going to solve. So you can't wait to get the second book. We love this book, and if you're a murder mystery buff like us, I think you'll enjoy it too. Exactly. This is our first book review. We may not be doing it correctly. Please leave us any comments or advice on how we should do this. And I hope to see you next time. And if you're like us, increase your creativity by reading a book. That is Broadland. David Blake. See you. I'll see you next. Oh, we didn't give it the dummies. The what? The dummies. You know how like neither of these they get rotten tomatoes. Oh, okay. So we're going to give it dummies. Yeah, let's give it dummies. Okay. Well then, I am going to give Broadland by David Blake 5 dummies, and I'm going to give it 7. Well, you can't give it 7. The scale is 1 to 5. Who said the scale's 1 to 5? Okay, well, the scale's 1 to 5. Then I'm going to still give it 7. You can't give it 7. Fine! We both give it 5 dummies. 5 dummies. Thanks. See you next time. Bye, y'all.